Hey everyone, my name is Jason. Today we are looking at two products from jsaux, which I have been super excited to come out. We have the RGB Docking Station for Steam Deck and the RGB Backplate for the Steam Deck. Two RGB items that I've been asking jsaux to release for a long time because they can finally add some aesthetics to a Steam Deck setup. Now I haven't opened them yet because I wanted to do my initial unboxing and review on camera just to see if we can experience this together. So to start, we have the RGB Backplate for Steam Deck, which I'm really excited because I'm hoping it gives some extra flair and aesthetics to my Steam Deck. This is not what I was expecting. This is so strange. So these grips are actually like silicone. Like this is like, look at it, you can see it's stretchy. And then the backplate is like a traditional plastic backplate. So I thought they were gonna build in the RGB into the backplate, which I think they have, but I guess they just added these silicone grips for better holding or better grip. I don't know, it's very interesting. And you know, just like jsaux's version 2 of their backplate, they have the thermal pad on the inside and this little circular vent to cover the fan to, you know, hopefully decrease some temperatures. But so the RGB is battery powered and you actually have to charge it right here. So I suppose you could just plug it in directly while you're playing it, but otherwise it's nice to have a tiny little battery just for lights because, you know, if you want to charge your Steam Deck, you'd have to just unplug the RGB and plug in the Steam Deck. But this way you can have this power going and still charge your Steam Deck or plug it into a dock or do whatever you need. So it's a nice touch to have that. And I guess there's a little button. Yes, a little button above. Oh, that's a nice clicky. So a little button above the charging port to, I guess, change the RGB of the Steam Deck. So it's very nice. Okay, so we've got the thermal pad. Everything else looks pretty bog standard on the backplate. So while this doesn't necessarily connect to anything in the Steam Deck, this is just the PCB that controls the RGB. And they have this over top of it so it doesn't mess with any electronics inside your Steam Deck. So this is just kind of separating their electronics from the Steam Deck's electronics, so you don't get any interference or shorting or anything like that. And as we can see, the backplate looks very similar to the version 2 of the previous backplates, but as you can see, we have two little boards here that are connected to these side things. And I'm guessing this is where the RGB is housed. And then we have these power lines running all the way to each other and to the PCB, which is connected to this battery, which ultimately connects into the wall. So pretty nice design that they're able to get RGB in here at all. Like I feel like there's not a lot of room to work with. So it's a very cool design. Let's get it installed. It looks awesome. And just for housekeeping, let's check to make sure what's inside this box. I'm assuming it's a bunch of things to help us install it. Okay, actually in here are some different triggers or backups. So if you don't like the ones that come with it, you can always replace them with these. It's always nice to have extras. And then of course we have the charging cable. Wow, it's pretty long. I was surprised. Usually these charging cables and these are really short. Look how long this is. This is crazy. This is great. Well done, jsaux. It's nice to see a long one. USB-C, of course, and then inside you have everything you need to complete the installation. You have a screwdriver, spudger, guitar pick, finger condoms, and then a bunch of extra screws as well. So these are always nice to have because I don't know about y'all, but if you open your Steam Deck a lot, there's a good chance you're gonna lose a screw. So before installing, remember to put your Steam Deck in the battery sparing mode or whatever it is, just to protect your battery. You never know, something could happen. And then we just need to undo these 8 screws and we can get started. I'm using my own screwdriver today, but you can use the one that comes with the package and I'm sure it works just as good. I've used it for other things. Have our 8 screws removed. Use the spudger to get in underneath the shell. And guys, remember to take out your micro SD card first before you pull this off. I recently had one snap in half because I forgot to do it. So take it out before you take off the shell. Seriously. Okay, we are in. That's basically the hard part. And then we can just go over here. We need to peel off this plastic sheet before using the thermal pad. And then once we take it off, we can just put this on right here. There's nothing else to do it. You just gotta click it in, make sure everything lines up, make sure everything is clicky clacky. And then you just need to reinstall the 8 screws and that's it. Installation's done. That was like what, 2 minutes? Like, doesn't take someone very handy to figure this out. It's really simple. You just got to do those 8 screws, pop it off, put this one on, 8 screws again. That's it. Very simple. So let me get this screwed in and then we'll give it a shot. So I'm going to try without these first and then I'm going to try with them on. Turn on. Ooh, okay. We can cycle through red. Ooh, rainbow. Oh my gosh. So if you are a hardcore gamer and you show up to a LAN party with this, they're going to be impressed, all right? Orange, green, blue, purple, red, okay, rainbow. Okay, so we don't have a bunch of options. We have about 5 or 6 colors and then a rotating rainbow option, but I would probably go with purple just because I like that look. But for the entirety of this video, I'm gonna keep it on rainbow because I think that's exciting. So that looks pretty cool already, but let me try with these silicone grips they give. So there must be a reason why they gave you these. I will say it does feel better in the hands. Having a silicone grip as opposed to like the standard plastic grip, this feels better. It feels comfortable, right? It does feel pretty good. It feels like less like it's gonna slip out of my hand. So I do kind of like the feel of it. I'm not a huge fan of the look of it. It's just like a silicone grip where we have all these parts cut out. So I'm not super fanatical about that, but let's check out the RGB. It's more of a muted color now as it's coming through, but I will say it might not be as bright, but the diffusion looks much better. I will say that because before you could see the LEDs, right? And that's always such an ugly look. And I'll say this diffusion looks pretty good, especially if you're playing in the dark. So I'm glad they added this. I don't know if I would like it better with it on or off, but hey, it's thrown in for free, so I'm not complaining. And it's a small price to pay because remember, you also get the thermal backplate that has this thermal pad and this vent. And I did a video recently testing all of these backplates and cooling fans, and spoiler alert, the only one I recommended was the V2 backplate that looks just like this because it was just minimally invasive and it's not something you had to carry with you. So with this one, you get the backplate and you get RGB. I think it's totally worth it. And you have a little battery there to keep everything charged. I'm liking the look of this. I think this is pretty cool, but I want to get it added with the RGB Docking Station for Steam Deck from jsaux as well to see if we can up our RGB game even more. So we've got a nice stylish looking dock here. It looks very different from other docks, I will say. This is like an actual docking station, not like a Steam Deck dock. It's really interesting. We got a push button here. What am I pushing? Oh, this is the push bracket. Oh, wow. Okay, so that's why. So remember I said a second ago, this doesn't look like a Steam Deck dock because they always look the same. They're just kind of like a USB hub and then like a little stand inlet. This one's stand inlet is an adjustable push. You just push it and it can slide in and slide out. Wow, that might make it worth the cost just in general, to be honest, because they usually have such a weird shape that they're hard to travel with because sometimes I like to take it on the go. This one, you can hide it. You push it in, it snaps back in, and look, now you just throw this in your bag and it's totally good to go. That's a nice touch. So while most Steam Deck docks have the USB-C charger built in, this one is external, which I always like to see as well. So you can use this for other things. We actually have a right angle bracket on this side and a standard USB-C on this one for easy plug-in, nice touch. And we have some decals that we're supposed to put on the dock to make it look more fresh and more clean. So I guess oh, these are like fuzzy. So I'm guessing this goes here for extra look. Okay. So with this docking station, we can see it's a little bit more than just standard. At the top, we have a micro SD slot and a SD card slot, which is very nice if you're using the Steam Deck dock for things more than just gaming. So you can actually use this to plug into other games as well. So if you don't want to put your micro SD card in your deck, or if you have multiple of them, maybe you only play some games docked, you can just leave that in there and just read games directly from it. It's very nice. Or if you're a content creator or a photographer or something, and you're using your Steam Deck on the go to maybe upload some photos or something, you can plug these in and it'll work just fine. And again, in the front, we have this push bracket that opens up the stand. Very nice touch. I'm actually in love with that. I want to marry it. So on the back, we have a USB-C power delivery. This is to charge your Steam Deck and plug in the dock, 2 USB 3.2As, a display port and an HDMI port. That's pretty rare. It's pretty rare to have both of these because usually most Steam Deck docks only have one or the other. You know, actually they don't ever have DisplayPort. They always just have HDMI and they only have one. So it's nice to see two. I wonder if this will actually work with 2 display outs or just one. We're gonna test it out. And then we have a USB-C 3.2 and a USB-C. So nice job, jsaux, a lot of options on the back. And then on the right side, of course, we have the Gigabit Ethernet. So everything's looking pretty good. Let's see what we can get. I plugged that in. Oh, okay. Let's get a closer look at that. So if you see, after I plug it in, the RGBs automatically came on and they are rotating, man. That is pretty slick. I gotta admit, that does not look that bad. So when you pull this out, you can see the RGB on the bottom, really prominent right there. That looks fantastic. whatever diffusion they did around the edge looks very cool. But the ultimate test is, does it look good with the RGB from the backplate from earlier, and does it fit properly? All right, it fits for sure. It definitely fits, and it doesn't feel like it's too wobbly or going anywhere. That's nice to see. So yeah, this is looking pretty solid. We got the RGB on the back of this backplate. We've got the RGB on the dock. All right, now this is in a dark room, and I mean, this looks pretty good on camera, but I'll admit it looks even better on person. It doesn't look tacky. It doesn't look too bright. It might look super bright on camera, but this is something that just kind of would sit on your desk and look beautiful. Let's check out this. Okay, yeah, so in the dark, yeah, these look way better in the dark, and these look fantastic. Look, so you can get a glow on the outside of this lip and back here in the diffusion bar. That looks very cool. So I say if you had this guy and you had this guy plugged in together, you have some other RGB stuff in your room, you're gonna be sitting very pretty. Look at that. Just that on your desk compared to a standard dock setup. This looks fantastic. So I will say these are not 100% necessary products, but if you want some RGB in your life, yeah, these are fantastic. I can totally recommend them. They look great. You've got the same jsaux quality on the dock with some added ports, and then the same quality on the backplate V2 with some extra RGB. Any recommendations? I would say if you want to pick these up, you can go to jsaux's website. I'll have it linked in the description, and you can use my code JASON, JASON, and that'll get you a discount. Otherwise, you can use the links in the description to go to other retailers. Go pick them up if you want some RGB in your life. My name is Jason. Thanks for watching.